Come here. Yeah, you. Come closer. I've got something to show you. This right here. This is an executive order from Donald Trump. Check out the headline. Protecting Second Amendment rights. You see it? A sitting president actually doing something to safeguard the Constitution instead of creatively tiptoeing around it to infringe on your rights. It's like spotting Bigfoot. Just incredibly rare. You never see it. Even though I've seen Bigfoot before. I don't care what anyone says, I've seen him.
Hey there, Freedom Fighters. I'm coming back at you with another one. And if you're new here, I usually do breaking news updates and do topics about our freedoms and our rights, mostly pertaining to the First and Second Amendment, because I believe they're the first and the second for a reason. They're the most important. So that's going to be the topic we're covering today. And you probably guessed it, it's going to be a response video to the Colion Noir video that I posted. I'll probably post an intro there, so you've already seen that. But we're going to discuss this video he did that I was watching just the other day pertaining to Donald Trump signing his newest executive order to protect Second Amendment rights. You know, is that a good, bad thing? Let's get into the details and discuss it. So yeah, let's get right into it. What exactly is this executive order talking about, and what does it do?
The Attorney General has 30 days to report back to the president with findings and a plan to fix anything that violates the Second Amendment. So in plain English, this executive order is saying, let's make sure none of these gun laws or policies are trampling our constitutional rights. It's like hitting the reset button on federal overreach.
So you see, it says it directs the Attorney General, which is Pam Bondi, who has a anti-gun past of her own, 30 days to investigate if, these gun laws violate the Constitution. Well, they all violate the Constitution. So, hopefully she has some balls to actually do something. Well, she doesn't have any balls. But, I mean, nowadays, who knows, man? Anybody can have anything these days. But, with her anti-gun past and everything, I don't see her doing much or reeling back anything. Also, the wording in there, as you heard Mr. Noir discuss, it says to look over the things the administration did in the last 4 years. Basically saying all the stuff he did with the gun center for prevention of violence, which was basically a anti-gun, gun confiscating agency, targeting people for their firearms rights, which is basically what the ATF is in general, and all these other organizations are just there to trample on your rights and freedoms. So, is she only going to be looking over and reeling back things that were put in place in the last 4 years? Or, a broad spectrum look at everything that's unconstitutional?
It's a huge step towards reining in federal agencies that have a track record of overstepping the confusing and often contradictory gun regulations. It also means hope. Hope that some of the more egregious rules, like those targeting pistol braces or redefining what counts as a firearm, could be on the chopping block. If done right, this could roll back regulations that punish law-abiding gun owners while doing nothing to curb crime. But more than anything, this executive order sends a message. The Second Amendment still matters. It's not a suggestion. It was a declarative statement.
So we got a doozy here. He talks about looking over things like the pistol brace thing, which Trump himself is the creator of it. So yeah, go back and check to see if this pistol brace is actually in line with the Constitution, or Trump did the pistol, not the pistol brace, but the bump stocks, and the red flag laws. He doesn't mention those, But those need to be, looked at from a high level, and need to be brought before the Supreme Court and all that. But it's all illegal and unconstitutional, not just, those certain things. And then a main thing I wanted to talk about was the hope. You know, he talks about, well, this just brings hope, and it was one of my past videos where I talked about, we're always groveling to the crown, and may I have another, sir? Can I place a brace on my firearm? Could I please have a suppressor to place on my lead pellet dispensing device? We're always asking permission. We don't need any hope about it. And he also talks in this video about, it wasn't we weren't asking, we weren't wishing, we didn't have any hope. We proclaimed. It was a statement, of our freedom. We're going to do this. We don't need permission from any of these politicians. And I've talked over and over again, about Ron DeSantis especially, and how everyone was praising his deal when he signed, what was it? It wasn't constitutional carry. It was just like a vague freedom to carry, conceal carry, basically, without a permit. You still can't open carry in Florida. You still can't have suppressors. You still can't have full auto, whatever. And people were like, oh man, Ron is so great. I have lots of friends, my Florida friends, and, family down there. And they're like, man, Ron's been a real great governor. And, he's been, helping us with the Second Amendment, all this stuff. And I'm like, man, you had all that before Ron. He didn't give you the ability to conceal without a permit. You've always had it. And the main point I want to get across is like, we don't need these politicians. We don't need these executive orders, and they do nothing. It's all just talk. It's all just a walk around, red meat for the base that goes nowhere and accomplishes nothing. And I don't care, if it's Ron or whoever your favorite politician is, whether it's Jim Jordan or, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Ted Cruz, whoever you think is a proactive, 2A supporter. Thomas Massey is another one who, I'm a fan of. He's pretty good, but even Thomas Massey supports gun control. They all do. Whoever your favorite politician is, I guarantee you they support some sort of gun control. And they'll pass these laws that make them seem pro-gun. Well, they'll throw you a little sticker bone and be like, yeah, you can own these now, and that's what I did for you. No, you always had the ability, and they didn't do that for you. You were always able to. But then they always insert, a but. There's always a but in there. Well, but you shouldn't own these. Or, yeah, I'll let you carry without a permit, but, you shouldn't still be out in public, open carrying. Or you shouldn't have this. I saw a video, Thomas Massey's got full auto firearms, and he was talking about his permits and everything he had to go through, being a law-abiding citizen. Again, and Colion Noir, I always get on him about using that term. He uses it again in here. It's for law-abiding citizens. Well, your ordinary citizen who owns those becomes a felon and can no longer, it's not for the law-abiding. It's for the rebels. It's for the people who are being oppressed, that the tyranny is raining down on. When the boot is on their neck, that's who it's for. If I cross the border right now into, say, Chicago, and, and I have whatever kind of tool I decide to carry on me, a certain size magazine, whatever, and because I'm like, I have the right, this is part of America, isn't it? You know, it's one of the 50 states of America, even though it sure ain't looking like it. You don't have your rights there for some reason, and and demographically as well. You know, it doesn't even look like America. I mean, the whole thing is it's the Chai Congo, that's for sure. Um, but regardless, you know, and then places like New York, same thing. And they literally had a judge there that said in one of these court cases was like, don't bring up that Second Amendment crap in this courtroom. This is New York, you know? And it's like, how do they get away with this? You know, and at the end of the day, I forget where I was going with it, but yeah, Thomas Massey, he won't believe in you owning, um, you know, full auto firearms. That's for well established members of the community in the halls of government and rich individuals that can purchase these fine, exquisite collector pieces such as Thomas Massey can afford and you can have. It's not for you. So again, none of these politicians are for your rights. Anyway, let's you know, go further into the video.
Breaking! President Trump just made his first move to totally dismantle life-saving gun safety laws. He wants to get us killed. We say hell no. Okay, first of all, let's pump the brakes on the drama. Wants to get us killed? Really? Executive order doesn't say abolish all gun laws. It says review the laws and eliminate the ones that violate the Constitution. If these laws are so life-saving and constitutional, what are you worried about?
Here you got the March for Your Lives organization led by David Hogg, that treasonous weasel, which recently ran for like the speaker, or not the speaker, the chair of the Democratic Party or whatever, and a treasonous organization. They're, you know, he's always going after the guns, and I did a video on this organization, and that video is called "How Many More?" Because that's one thing they've always said, and they're like, oh, these Republicans are, you know, whatever they want to label it. You know, I've said, like, I don't consider myself that, but you know, these free-minded, free-thinking, libertarian, free individuals want to get us killed because they don't like firearm laws or they want guns. No, it's the other way around, Mr. Hogg. You want to get me killed. And, you know, I've said it, even some of my friends and you know, family who are like, again, there's always a but. You know, they might be gun owners themselves, but they're FUDs, or there's always a but. Well, you know, maybe we shouldn't have these, or, you know, people shouldn't be allowed to carry those. Every law that you try to put forth and put in place is a threat to my life. You are trying to get me killed. You know, I've said that multiple times before, too. You know, all gun laws are infringements, but they're more than just, you know, breaking the law or unconstitutional. They are a threat to my life. You are advocating to get me killed, regardless of whatever infringement you're putting forth. You know, whether or not you say, oh, you can't own these, or you can't have a certain capacity magazine, you can't put this on the end of your threaded barrel, you can't have this on your stock, you can't have that kind of grip, whatever infringement you're putting forth, you're advocating for an agent of the state to come put an end to it, aka taking me out. That's what gun laws are. So it's you who are trying to get us killed. You know, let's get it right. You're the ones going against the Constitution. You're the ones who are anti-Americans. You're the ones who are the traitors. Anyway, let's move forward.
They know this executive order doesn't dismantle all gun laws. They know it's about constitutional compliance. But acknowledging that would mean admitting that their narrative is built on shaky bullshit grounds. This executive order is a win for the gun community. It's a long overdue check on federal agencies and a reminder that the Constitution still holds weight. It's proof that protecting the Second Amendment isn't just a slogan, it's an actionable goal. And as for the anti-gun groups, keep crying.
So then he goes on to even admit, this is all lies, and they know this doesn't dismantle all gun laws, just ones that are unconstitutional. So again, this is what I was going on and saying. You're not going to get, any real freedom. This is all just red meat for the base. They're not going to dismantle gun laws. Pam Bondi will probably go in there and throw you a bone and say, we're no longer going along with these Biden, harsh regulations that he put on FFLs or something like that. And it's going to mean near nothing for you. It's not going to have your ability to own what you want, do what you want, carry what you want, whenever and wherever you want. That's not going to happen. That's going to have to go, through legislation and law and to the Supreme Court and all that. But it's already, the law. It's the law of the land. It's the Constitution. And it goes beyond that. Like I've said before, it's, it comes from God. It's a God-given natural right. He goes on to talk about, different options and stuff they can do to help this organization. And it's like, what are we doing trying to help them? I saw something the other day, too, about someone saying that Brandon Herrera, another fellow 2A advocate and gun tuber, he should be the new director of the ATF. And I'm pretty sure I saw a video where Brandon even said himself, like, what's the point of this organization? Like, what do they really do? What's the point of them? Now he's, supposedly trying to lead it. And I don't know if he's actually accepted the position or, what he feels about it. But again, it goes into this area where no politician's going to save you. There's no person that can go into these positions and do anything other than just like, you think he's going to go in there and just abolish it? I'm thinking like what I would do, and it's like, congratulations, Freedom Fighter, you're now, the leader, head director of the ATF. I'm like, okay, I don't want the job, or, yeah, I'll take the job, and I immediately sign that this organization is unconstitutional and in abolishing, this organization. They never do that. They seek to become it. And same thing with all this, go back to hope. There being some hope. Kash Patel becoming the FBI director and stuff. You think he's just going to go in there, fire everybody, abolish the system, and just like rid the organization? No, they're going to try to model it for themselves and become it. And what I've always said about government, man, they're all just waiting to see who gets to yield the power. And it's all about ruling over the people, and they'll complain about it when it's being used against them, but when it's their turn to get in and wield the power, I mean, it's literally like Lord of the Rings. They know the ring is bad, and when they see what it does to their their friends or their family when they put it on, they're like, yeah, that's a bad thing, we need to get rid of that. And then when it gets in their hands, suddenly it's the precious, and they want to wield it, and it's theirs, and they don't want to let it go, and that's what it always becomes, man. And I don't even know what to say about it, but man, I'm just gonna keep it there. Let me know what you think. As always, man, you know what it is. We are on our own. Nobody's coming to save us, so get right with God, because only God can save you. Freedom Fighters out.